It's February and it's Black History Month. Hi guys, my name is Escarla. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. This is my little crafty corner of the universe where I like to document my making and really anything that falls into alignment with what I'm into. I hope that you are here to stay. It is Black History Month and somehow half of the month is already gone. I think it's important to uplift Black voices and really just BIPOC makers, not just on the corresponding months, but year-round. I think Black history in itself is a touchy subject for some people, but I think personally, there's just something about a collective remembrance of Black history because so much of Black history is just American history. So I wanted to take some time to share here on my platform 10 different designs that I found on Ravelry during a deep dive. They're all featuring Black designers. I made sure to choose all different designers so that if you haven't heard of them, you could be exposed to their work, but also I wanted to choose a variety of different patterns. So we have 5 different garment knits, so like tops, sweaters, cardigans, and then I chose 5 different accessories, so like shawls and hats and socks and those kind of things. So I hope you enjoy the video and I hope you find something that you like as well and then you consider knitting it. Go ahead and grab yourself something warm, something cozy, grab your knits, and let's get into the video. Quick disclaimer, I have my notes right here, so if you see me looking down, that is what I am referencing. I have images of each pattern here to refresh my memory as well. And these are in no particular order of preference. They really are just in the way that I decided to lay them out, really. But we're gonna start with the 5 garments that I chose. Number 1 is the Simone Pullover by Gavriella Treminio. Now this is a gorgeous pullover. It has quite a bit of texture happening in the yoke, which is very exciting for me. It also has some fun kind of details by the ribbing of the sweater, which I always find really satisfying because I find that a lot of pullovers focus in more on the yoke section, either with color work or with texture, and then they kind of leave the rest as a stockinette fabric, which is cute in certain patterns, but I do love when you pull that into the ribbing part of the garment. So this pullover does just that. It is knit in an Aran weight yarn, so it should definitely be a much quicker knit. I'm pretty used to knitting with fingering weight yarns and I love it, but it does take much longer to finish a sweater. So this should be a bit of a quicker knit. There's a lot of fun baubles and eyelets happening at the yoke. It is a top-down sweater, so that's very appreciated. You can try it on as you go, see how far you want to go with the yoke depth. It is also designed in 12 different sizes, so we all appreciate an inclusive pattern. Gavriella does have several really fun patterns that I highly recommend checking out. Number 2 is the Year-Round Popover by Melissa Georges, and this is also a pullover, and I really appreciated the architectural vibe that this sweater gave. I did find this pattern on Dr. Charlie Untangle's channel here on YouTube. She's hosting the Black History Month Craftivism Make-Along, which I am participating in. She also came out with a video, which I'll link down below, of like 10 knitwear and 10 crochet designs from Black knitwear designers, so I will link that down below. But she did mention this pullover and I fell in love with it. It features a worsted weight yarn, so again, a slightly quicker knit. It is also a top-down circular yoke with 3/4 length sleeves, so I feel like that would make it quite versatile for different parts of the year. It'll be a nice layering piece. There are 9 different sizes. I love that it features much deeper ribbing, so like the bottom of the sweater and the sleeves have what looks to be at least 4 inches of ribbing. And I think that gives it a really fun look, gives it that fun texture, and gives it that kind of like architectural vibe. Number 3 is the Otaheite cardigan by Tian Connaughton. And I did look up how to pronounce this because I was very intimidated by the name of the cardigan. And it turns out that Otaheite is a type of Jamaican apple, which I now want to go and try. I was actually in Jamaica last year, but we didn't get to do too much like exploring outside of the resort we were at, unfortunately. But now I really want to try an Otaheite apple, so thank you so much, Tian, for that. But this pattern is absolutely gorgeous. It is knit sideways with a color shifting yarn, so it gives you this really fun like color changing cardigan moment. It is also knit in a worsted weight. I actually noticed most of these patterns were knit in a worsted weight, which is kind of interesting because I feel like I mostly find a lot of fingering weight patterns, but maybe that's just like because of what I'm interested in. I don't know. But I do appreciate a worsted weight. Like I mentioned, Tian used a color shifting yarn working it sideways to get those like kind of stripy moments. And she actually used Lion Brand's Mandala Ombre. And I love that because Lion Brand is a fairly affordable yarn company. I guess it depends on your budget, but they constantly have sales and are quite accessible, at least here in the US. This is the most size inclusive pattern that I discovered, and it comes in 22 different sizes, which is amazing. And this is actually a pattern from the book Cardigans for Every Body, because every body is worthy, which Tian wrote, I believe, about 2 years ago. And it's a whole collection of different, I believe, knitwear and crochet, because she's also a crocheter, which we love, a multi-craftual babe. If you like a few different patterns from that collection, then I highly recommend just purchasing the book. It'll be a much better deal. I think when I'm past my kind of low spend year, I might consider purchasing that pattern just because I feel like I could learn a lot about sizing whenever I decide to actually start designing garments myself. I love that Tian is both a knitter and a crocheter, like I said, because she features so many amazing different patterns in her portfolio of work, so definitely check her out. Number 4 is Risky Business Top by ShanaKay Salmon. I've actually had this pattern in my favorites for probably over a year. I wanted to knit it last summer and just didn't get around to it. I didn't have the right yarn for it. It is knit in an Aran weight yarn, and she used Lion Brand's Pima cotton, and it is worked flat, but as you can see from the pictures, it has, it's essentially kind of like a cardigan with these I-cord ties, and you can kind of customize how many ties you use. I saw some testers use 2. I believe in the featured pattern here, she uses 3. And it's just like this fun and flirty top. I think it could easily be worn like to the beach or to like the boardwalk, but you can also kind of dress it up at night if you're going out to a club. If you do that, I definitely am past those days. But yeah, I think it's just really cute. It is knit in a negative ease to make it a little bit sexier. And it is available in 9 different sizes. So I highly recommend this one for summer. I think it's time to start thinking about like your spring and summer knits, and I think this would be a great one to knit up. Number 5 is Love Note Tank by Rebecca McKenzie. So this is another great tank top to consider for summer or if you live in a more tropical climate. It features really fun lace work. So you have kind of this diamond shaped simple lace work at the front panel, and then you have this mesh situation happening in the sides, and then there's this scalloped edging at the bottom. I think it's really beautiful, and I actually saw a test knitter knit it cropped, which I really loved. I tend to crop everything, so I think the cropped version looks a lot cuter in my opinion. But this one is worked in the round, so it should be a little bit quicker and better for those of you who don't like to purl. It is available in 6 different sizes, and I don't know if I mentioned, but it is knit in an Aran weight yarn, so another quick summer knit for you. Now let's get into all of the accessories. Number 1 is the Hatdana by Denise Bayron. Now this is another pattern that I've had in my mind for quite a while. I really need to get around to knitting this one because it is such a versatile accessory to have. As you can see from the pictures, you can wear it as a bandana, you can wear it as a cowl, or you can like kind of reverse it and make it like a head wrap moment. It's just really beautiful. It's a very quick knit. I think it would make a great gift as well. There is a fingering weight version accompanying the pattern when you purchase it, so that's really nice. I tend to have a lot of random fingering weight skeins from when I travel. I like to collect like at least 1 skein of yarn if I visit a new state. So that ends up meaning that I have a lot of different fingering weight skeins of yarn in my stash. So this would be a great stash buster for those. Denise has several really gorgeous designs in her portfolio that really appeal to my inner city girl, and I think they're very modern and sleek and chic, so I highly recommend her patterns. Number 7 is Sonoya by Tamy Gore, and this is a crescent shaped shawl knit with 1 skein of fingering weight yarn. So like I mentioned, really great for those random one-off skeins of fingering weight yarn that I know a lot of us collect. I feel like it would be a really fun and slightly quick knit because it only uses 1 skein of fingering weight yarn, but also it keeps things interesting with the variety of stitches. It has repeating garter stitch, a mesh kind of stitch, and then also dropped stitches. Tamy Gore had so many beautiful designs that it made it really hard to choose from. I had already chosen my garments that I wanted to feature, so I didn't feature any of her sweaters, but she has so much beautiful color work in her portfolio of work, so I highly recommend checking her out if you don't know about her already. I think she is another of those pillar designers in the knitting world. Number 7 is Diamond Walk Socks by Noma Lovu. These socks are so pretty. They feature 2 different yarns and they are knit up in a sport weight. So it's a slightly quicker sock knit than your typical fingering weight sock. I think a contrasting yarn would be really beautiful for the contrast detailing. So it does have that speckled top of the foot and then the bottom is striped. It just seems like a really fun sock to knit. It features a short row heel and is knit cuff down. I typically like to do a heel flap and gusset, but to be honest, it's been quite a while since I knit socks. I've actually been meaning to get back into that. Hopefully later on this year, maybe in the summer, I'll get back into my sock knitting and experiment with different heels. It's always fun to try out different heel techniques from different designers. And it's actually a really simple slip stitch pattern, so it's actually simpler than what it looks like. I don't think it's that traditional color work. I haven't purchased the pattern yet, so I have yet to know specifically how that's made, but I will definitely be knitting these in the future just to see how she achieved that look with slipped stitches. And I noted specifically from Noma's collection a lot of beautiful t-shirts and also a lot of really fun socks. Number 8 is ShortStuff Slouchy Beanie by Jimenez Joseph. And I freaking love beanies. I am not a fitted hat girly. I think I mentioned that in a past video. But I love a slouchy moment. And when I saw this beanie, I was immediately captivated by the really beautiful patterns happening. So it calls for 2 to 3 colors in a fingering weight or a DK yarn. So the pattern features both sizes, which is really nice. The pattern features these really cool short rows that create this really intricate, cool, geometric pattern. And I believe it's a provisional cast on, so it looks like a really nice smooth edge. The pattern itself comes with a lot of pictures and a lot of guidance. So if you feel a little bit intimidated by it, do know that you will have plenty of support with the pattern. And I, for one, am very eager to knit this. I haven't knit a hat for myself in a really long time. I feel like the past few months I've just been mostly gift knitting and gift making. So I am eager to start kind of selfishly making some things for myself. And this hat is gonna be one of them. Last but not least is number 10, which is KVIST by Saysha Greene. Now this is one of those scarves that caught my attention immediately. It is a cabled scarf with this kind of interloping diamond effect motif and some pretty generous ribbing at the bottom. And I think this is partly due to the male model modeling the scarf, but it was giving that Lenny Kravitz oversized scarf moment. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. It's very chic and luxe looking. I could see someone walking in Soho in New York City rocking this scarf. And it is a worsted weight scarf, and it was published in Woolfolk's Fall 2022 collection. Because it's a scarf, of course, it's knit flat, so if you're not a big purler, then maybe I would avoid this one. The pattern is both charted and written out in text, so that kind of appeals to different types of knitters. And yeah, if you're looking for a high-end looking kind of high fashion vibe scarf, I think this one is definitely it. All right guys, so that is it for all of the patterns that I wanted to talk about today. And because I know some of you will ask me, and I always tend to forget, this is my Bookkeeper cardigan designed by Taylor E. Owen that I test knit. I think if you've been here before, you've probably seen me wear this before. It is one of my most worn sweaters. I knit it up in Juniper Moon Farm, I believe that's what they're called. They're Patagonia yarn, and I used 3 different colors. My favorite part of this design is the corrugated, is that how you say that? The corrugated ribbing on both the cuffs and also the collar, or the, what is this called? What is this called? You guys are screaming at me through the computer. The button band. The button band. So yeah, I really love this sweater. And I wanted to give you guys a quick update. I've been working, like I said, on the Black History Month Craftivism Make-Along, and it's honestly been quite a busy month. I went to New York last weekend, and I spent a lot of time with my mom and just walking around the city, so I didn't have a lot of time to knit. But I did manage to finish the first panel of my vest, and I love it so much. Let me put it on this side so you guys can see. I think it'll be a really nice size, and I really love this color. This is the Carnelian Sweater Vest by Lauren McElroy. And yeah, so one panel done. I'm working on the other panel, and then all I have to do is the back, and then I have to join it, and then I have to do all the edging. So I am hoping to get that done by the end of the make-along. I think I could do it. I'm hoping to spend some good time knitting tomorrow. So yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. I hope you found a new black designer that you love. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Please give the video a like. It really helps the video spread out throughout YouTube and find some more people. And you can also find me on Instagram as Starseed Creations, where I mostly fail to post on my feed, but I always post on my stories for the most part. And yeah, until next time, you take care of yourself. Happy crafting, happy making, happy Black History Month, and I will see you next week. Bye.